Hello, my friends. How's everyone? It's Saturday, August 10th. I think school is starting for some people. Seems to start earlier, doesn't it? Except here in Maryland. Well, college students. For Maryland, it's not supposed to accept Catholic, or sorry, private schools. I was almost at Catholic because I went to a Catholic school. Um, Schools aren't supposed to start until after Labor Day, unless that's been changed. Um, it was sort of a nod to the retailers in the Ocean City area, as they wanted more time. It did not sit very well in in our state, with some, and with others. I didn't have an opinion one way or the other, to be honest with you guys. Let me bring up my desktop, be able to read comments if we get comments. I don't take anything for granted. One person shows up, it's a gift. Always appreciative. That has been key to me for peaceful state of mind, is being grateful for what shows up. Now, of course, sometimes we got to look. We got to look pretty deep. Man, you guys are catching me yawning again. I'm going to bring up a poem. I read this quite often. And I might read some more poetry today. This is from the great Persian poet, Sufi poet, Rumi, 12th century, I believe. Um, this being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows, who violently sweep your house empty of all its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them all at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Imagine that. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. That's tough. Let's see, Jace is here, and Lee's here. Hello, my friends, how are you? So, how do we appreciate all those things that may come to us that we don't appreciate? How do we appreciate illness? How do we appreciate lack of funds? Getting fired? In the moment itself, it's hard to. I think the key is in knowing that we don't know. We don't know what's in store. We may get fired from a job only to find out a better job is on its way, or that something was going to happen at that job, the business goes under, whatever. We don't know. So we're grateful for what comes because it's what came, and we don't know. There is a gift in uncertainty. Lee says, we are all passing ships that have come into dock with our fellow sailor, Eric. Absolutely. That's the way I like to view it, too. We are fellow sailors. We are... I love the metaphor of that we are each a wave of an infinite ocean. And as every wave is individual, momentarily arising, cresting, falling back into the ocean, As every wave is separate and different, it's never apart from the ocean. We are waves who have come to believe that we are separate from the ocean, that we're separate from consciousness, that we're separate from each other, but at no point are we ever separate from the infinite ocean of consciousness itself. Just when Sue is here, Sue says, Yogi and Lee. Sue, how you doing? I see. I just went over to Sue's page. Hey, is that a new profile photo? Lovely. Our friend Sue has 2 new videos up. High water at the Susquehanna. Yeah, there was some rain coming down, wasn't there? Let's see if this works for you guys. You can go check out Sue's. Susquehanna River is the river that I traveled in my childhood. Driving up and driving down. We would drive up to Pennsylvania to visit family. My dad's sisters, my dad's brothers, a huge number of cousins, unbelievable number of cousins. Sue says, yes, my high school senior picture. Guys, you wouldn't even recognize me with my senior picture. Long blonde hair down to my elbows, pulled back in a ponytail. Sue said I took a nice walk to the river to see how high it was. Got some good videos. Looking forward to checking them out. Jay says, are we watching? Lee says, just subscribe to you, one Sue. Nice. Sue says, posted a lot of videos, got a cormorant in the water and flying. Wow. I've never gotten a video of one flying. I've gotten quite a few. My, I might view this as one of my greatest of all, was a cormorant spread its wings out. Cormorant wings, they are not waterproof. If a duck goes underwater, or a goose, or almost I think any other waterfowl, their wings have a oil that keeps them dry so they can fly. But a cormorant, if their wings get wet, they need to dry them out in the sun. So they'll spread them out and they'll stay like that for a while. William, how are you? So I got a cormorant in the sun folding its wings out, and it was beautiful. It was gorgeous, and it lifted one leg up and streamed a white stream from the butt going to the bathroom. So he says it took off in the water and then landed back. Nice. William's getting tired. I'm doing pretty good. Hey, I saw 2, so you might see these sometimes. Goldfinches. Beautiful birds. They almost look unreal. What's the plan, William? Projectile pooping. That was the one. I'm gonna try to repost that sometime. I got that, and for a while there, I was on a streak. Every animal that I tried to film, well, I did film, went to the bathroom as soon as I put the camera on them. What are they trying to tell me? Squirrel Sniper is here, says, greeting beautiful souls from across the pond, but under the same skies. Jay says it's going to get warm for you guys. Hopefully not as warm as it's been. I know it's gotten really warm for you guys. Sue says, yes, I've seen that once in a while. It is the hazards of being a wildlife filmer, videographer. I'm waiting for the yoga pooping squirrel. Sooner or later, Sue, it's bound to happen. The yoga pooping squirrel. William says, let's see, to Nye right now. Phone going to overheat. Can you get someplace cool? Can you head to a McDonald's or Starbucks? Lee says, Eric, am I right in thinking that the Apache territories would have been where you are now and nearby state of Ohio? Nope. They were in the Southwest. There were our friend William Downey, that area. We went to Mocha and I honeymooned in Arizona, and we went to the Hopi and the Navajo reservations. We wanted to go to the Apaches, but we never made it. Sue says you bring out the best in them. I definitely bring out something in them, don't I? William says got to go. Sue says be safe, William. Absolutely. Prescott Trimpleton says hello, Blue Chat. How are you? I'm here. Someone else came in and said there was some issues going on in Bangladesh. Prescott. It is stream, chat, GPS, too much while charging phone. It really is YouTube. Oh, sorry about that, William. I was hoping to get a little bit of an update, but that might have to wait. Squirrel Sniper says hi to Lee. Cameron's here. Cameron, how are you? Because you came in a couple mornings ago and you were elated, pretty happy. Troubles are over. Sorry to hear if that's taken a turn back again. Saying hi to my cat. Prescott says, for those who don't know, Prescott is our friend Night Watcher, living in Bangladesh, from Bangladesh, who taught me how to say Bangladesh. There is no police because they got boycotted to Holland back. Now the country is basically lawless. Robberies are on the rise. The military only stops in when something big happens. How did that take the turn like that after everything getting peaceful? Lee says, Erica would have been fascinated to learn about the great Native American people and to see some territories. If myself and the boys save hard, we will have a once-in-a-lifetime trip to the USA. Awesome. Man, that would be great. I've spent some time on, as I mentioned, the Navajo and the Hopi. On the East Coast, where I live, North Carolina's not that far. Maybe a 12-hour drive, maybe a little bit more. And I spent some time on the Cherokee Reservation. And then up north, maybe another 9 to 12 hours. I spent some time on the Mohawk Reservation. Always been fascinated with Native Americans, actually with Native cultures everywhere, including the original Native kilts. I have a deep desire to paint myself blue and put horns on my head and dance around a fire. But maybe that's just me. I think that's what always drew me to shamanic practices. School Cypher says citizens will need to come together to look after each other in mass. Yeah, if the police force is no more and the army's not going to do it, give me a second, guys. I want to show you for Lee. This is a great little book. And you can get it on Amazon. You can get it with a, I don't know if you can see, Shamanic Journey. I know it's backwards, guys. You can get it with a cassette tape. You can actually, I think YouTube has it as well, that you can do your own shamanic journey following drums. And I would do that. Try to do it once a season. Or if something really unusual when I'm filming nature presents itself to me, I love to do a shamanic drum session where I can ask the animal, what is it? Because I love to write about the things that I see. And I can ask, what is it that you are wishing to convey to me that I should write? And I always get a beautiful message. It is a safer journey to a, we can call it the archetypical world or the collective unconsciousness. There's different levels in shamanic journey. We have this reality, and then we have the lower realms, and we have the upper realms. Lower doesn't mean bad. But everything shows itself, according to shamanic traditions, for a reason. Why are we seeing this? What is the, if not lesson, what is the meaning? And for me, it's almost always about writing something from a different perspective. That, like today, I saw a goldfinch. I mentioned to Sue. They're beautiful birds. I'll put up a video probably tomorrow. I found if I put up too many shorts, I guess I spam myself out, right? For those who know, does that sound possible? I've been doing a lot of little mushroom videos as well. So the reason I mentioned that, Lee, because I thought with your fascination with Native Americans, you would enjoy maybe or think about doing your own shamanic journey. And again, it goes all across cultures, every tradition. Squirrel Sniper mentioned this a couple of days ago. Every tradition has ancient roots in shamanic practices. Let's see, Cameron says, I was just watching your stream because I don't have any questions. But how was your day? My day was really good. After 2 days of hard rain, it was nice and clear. Wasn't too warm. There was a lot of wildlife out on both my walks. Sue says I got a nice capture of our friend the vultures. Nice. Yep, both Sue and I have a affinity for vultures. I like to think of it as a friendship and an understanding. As Sue said, our friends, the vultures. As with everything, they are doing God's work. Laradox is here. Laradox, how are you? What's new in the world of Laradox? Hey, Jace. 700 subscribers, my friend. Well done. Laradox says it was in the early morning live stream. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. And he was at basketball. Hey, do you play on your school team? Lee says, I just wanted to say thank you to Jace. I was on the phone call with him yesterday, and he always managed to make me think differently, alter my thought process. Nice. Jace says, thanks, Eric. A well-deserved 700, that's for sure. And growing. Laradox says to Lee, thanks for the sub, and yes, on my school team. Nice. You the star player? Have you guys watched any of Laradox's basketball shots? Pretty impressive. Jace says, Laradox, patience, bro. It's coming for sure. Excellent advice from our friend Jace. Lee says, Eric, so you have plans to do a run soon in a marathon? No plans. It's been a while. My last race was in 2019. I did a 50K. I actually power walked it. And I did it. It was actually over 50K. It was 36 miles because it was a long course. And I did it I walked it in 7 hours and I think 4 minutes. My best 50K running time was 5 hours and 20 minutes. And my best, it's pretty slow actually, but my best 100-mile time was 29 hours. Let's see, Lee says, Eric, that's a fantastic achievement for that distance. Yeah, Milka and I did, we ran an ultra a month for over 10 years. So I've done officially and non-officially. Non-officially meaning that they were smaller races put together by, small organizations. I've done maybe 110, 120 ultra marathons, 5 or 6 regular marathons. Funny because I never would have thought that I would have turned into a distance runner. All through my teens, it was all about getting bigger and getting stronger. Same through my 20s. Changed a bit in my 30s. I started training for martial arts. And then I started training for kettlebell sport in my 40s and some Olympic lifting. But I mentioned before, I read a book. I actually read the first lines in a book, the epigraph in a book. And I decided just reading that little bit, I was going to run 100 miles. Leo's here. Leo, how's the rest of the workout? You guys are putting in big work with the vest. Leo says, much love, brother Yogi. Hope your day is great so far. It is so far. Thank you. Hope yours is as well. Let's see. Lee says, Eric, does Mocha? No H. MOCA for her. Sorry if I spelled that wrong. Share your interest in exercise. I think to share something like this with a partner is special. She does. Um, absolutely. She was my ultra running partner. She did almost every race that I've done. We've done a bunch of 24-hour races. I probably did 12 to 15 24-hour races, somewhere around there. Jay says, I have ultra wired Xena. I will go live soon. May as well capture the energy. No, I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be awesome, Jace. He says, see you soon, Jace. We'll look out. Leo says, easy work, Yogi. All gains. Absolutely. For you guys. That's for sure. Man, you've made that 35-pound vest look easy. We got loot to Jace from our friend Sue. So I got another breathwork video I'll be putting up sometime in the afternoon, later afternoon. It is compultai breathing, which translates to skull shining breathing, because it will make you shiny from the inside. It clarifies the mind, clarifies the thoughts. It's also very energetic. It's what's categorized as a coffee breathing breath, meaning that it gives you energy, it helps metabolism. Excellent breath to do first thing in the morning. Sue says, Keen and I are outside enjoying the nice weather. It is nice today, isn't it? Sue's probably about 2 hours, I think, away. I think Harrisburg is about 2 hours away. I can be in York, Pennsylvania in less than an hour. So I think maybe Harrisburg's only an hour away from York. So the weather's usually not that much difference. Colder. She gets more snow, I'm sure. So I mentioned before, my breathwork instructor, who taught me to be an instructor, makes a pretty bold claim, that you can get 90% of the benefits of meditation just through breath work alone. That you might not get all of the great, let's call them spiritual insights that you'll get from meditation. And one doesn't, you don't have to pick one of the other, but so many people don't have time or maybe the inclination to sit for 10, 15, 20 minutes twice a day in meditation or longer. Some do. But if you want to rewire the central nervous system to be more responsive, less reactive, if you want to become more aware of your thoughts, if you want to be able to control where your energy is, meaning are you in the sympathetic mode, the fight or flight, always on edge, ready to lash out, defensive, offensive, or do you want to slip into the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest, the peaceful, the creative mode? It's all, believe it or not, in your control in as little as 10 breaths. So I'm doing my best to put out the videos. It's on my playlist. Hopefully it's going to work for you guys if anyone is interested. As well, I'm going to start adding some meditation how-to. Mentioned before, My life started changing completely on its own when I started to meditate. That I no longer had to, um, I gave up self improvement, putting all that energy in trying to build a better self. That when you realize the self that we're trying to build up is illusory, it's just a thought, a collection of thoughts, persistent thoughts, so persistent that every day we add to it. But it's not who we are, we're the awareness of that thought system itself. And when you can let that go, you start thinking, then what is it I'm trying to improve? If the self is illusory, it's not an actual thing. A neuroscientist can't cut open the brain and examine it and say, huh, there's the self, there's the ego, there's the identity. So what is there to try to improve? Who is there to try to improve anything? However, that doesn't mean that we can't be more at ease, that we can't feel more successful, that we can't be more peaceful, that we can't be more loving. And what happened for me was the magic of starting to meditate, and everything fell into place. I no longer had to think about self-improvement because everything was beginning to improve completely on its own with so little effort of my own. It's almost like my life became charmed in a way. Not that bad things still didn't happen, but my attitude towards those bad things became more introspective. I became in tune that it's not really a bad thing happening to me. It's simply life happening, and I don't have to interpret it into the why is this happening to me? The reason why something seems to be happening to you is because you are a deep participant in life itself, and life happens. It means you're going to lose someone that you love. It means that you're probably going to get fired from a job or walk away from a job. You might go broke. Who knows? Anything that's possible in life can happen. And the proof is it happens. When we find that we're participants in that, it's no longer a tragic event, it's just an event. We get to reinterpret. Let's see, our friend Kayla's here. Kayla, how are you, my friend? Nice to see you. Let's see. Kayla says, good morning. Good morning to you. Lee says, Eric, my mind races all the time, and most of the time it's nothing important. It's repetitive thought. So I'm hoping my breath work will help ease this. I would like to sit and just be clear. Absolutely. You know what? Here's what you'll find if you meditate. The mind sucks. The brain sucks. It's a wonderful tool. But as Lee said, thoughts are always streaming through, and we can't control them. Maybe for a moment, but then they start coming in. And then you sit for meditation, and all of a sudden, you're like, I can't sit for to meditate. Too many thoughts. I'm supposed to clear my mind. Meditation isn't about clearing the mind. It is about realizing that the mind is always in motion and always thinking. However, beneath all of those thoughts is an infinite, clear, open emptiness. That is who you are. A lot of people don't like hearing that. Man, I don't want to be emptiness. However, this is an emptiness that allows everything to come to surface. It's the infinite emptiness of life itself, capacity. What's the role of capacity? It isn't just to be empty, it's to hold. A vase is capacity, and yet it can hold flowers that you put in it. A pot is empty, and you can put whatever you want to in the pot. The sky is empty, and yet it holds every mountaintop, every branch, every bird, every airplane without any complaint. The mind is empty, and it can hold every thought that we have. So you start, as you meditate, as soon as you notice, man, what a mess in here, that's a huge step. It's a huge step for our friend Lee. Says my mind races all the time. How do you know that? You have to be aware of your mind racing to know that. And most people don't even realize that the mind is racing. They take it for granted. It's the way it is. But the fact that you notice that my mind is racing all the time means what? You're not your mind. You're not that racing mind. You're the awareness to that racing mind, which means you're already quiet. You're already still. You're already there. It's amazing. That's the gift of meditation. Let's see. Someone, sorry, I don't know anyone named Burpee Reaper. I do know someone named the Spartan Reaper, the Spartan Reaper King. I do know a Spartan Reaper, that's for sure. Reaper, how are you? Excellent workout. I haven't had a chance to watch your first one yet, but I'm going to. Reaper put in a double time today. Not 1, 2. Not just burpees. He's taking this seriously, guys. You don't get to be a Spartan unless you train like a Spartan. Kayla says, hope you're well. Just about to nap. Well, have a good nap, my friend. Reaper says, feeling fantastic today. After his run. I want to add, after his 3-mile run. Lee says, lovely to see you, Reaper. I did pop in for a spell. No work for me, though. Reaper says, Eric, rated football today. 1 p.m., 4 p.m. your time. And I'll be done my live stream. I'll check it out. All right, Reaper, listen to this. This is how deep I am down the rabbit hole. Who are we playing today? Did you catch that? Who are we playing today? That's so you know that I'm a Raiders fan. I didn't say, who are they playing today? Jay says, Reaper brother, I'm going live shortly. And Lee, much appreciated. Let's see. Reaper says, Vikings, we play them. We play the Vikings. Jay says, go away, Raiders. Another Raider fan in the house. Reaper says, love it. Wait. And that is the first time I've ever said that, Reaper. Because before any other team, it was, so who's Baltimore playing? Or who's Pittsburgh playing? Or who's Green Bay playing? Reaper says, did you see me jump in the ocean, guys? I missed that part. I'm going to have to check it out. He says, again, what is the most he's in sport in the United States? American football, baseball, basketball, or hockey? Either football or baseball. Probably football. Probably football. I mean, baseball is the national pastime. I love baseball. I don't watch baseball. I can't tell you a single Major League Baseball player. I haven't played a game of baseball since I was probably 12 years old. I haven't been to an actual game since I was a teenager, probably. Maybe early 20s. But here's what I love about baseball. It is uniquely American. It is from April to October. It is always on somewhere. It's the fabric of the American culture. Reaper says football. You know he's serious because it's in capital letters. Reaper says, nice Jace. Couldn't read my comments. But that's what I love about baseball, is it brings us all together. Same with football. Reaper says, Eric, my 3 mile run was perfect. And that's what you need. You need the runs. You don't want to feel drained right now after you run. Um, smart training. I did start feeling it in my legs after that, though. So I didn't do 4. Yeah, right now, no need to. You're only going to be running a 10K, and you're not going to run for all of it. You're going to be stopping. You're going to be doing you're getting some rest. You're going to be doing events. You know what? You could set up your own little course where you stop, and it might not be the actual event, but you can mimic. How close can you get to doing some of these things? So you run not fast, you get to a spot, and then you practice. Not so much train as you just practice that event. The best that you're able, as close as you can mimic. And then you go on to the next. Jay says, Reaper, how long for 3 miles? Our friend Sue says hi to everyone. Thank you, Sue. Reaper says, Jace, I believe it was around 9 to 10 minutes a mile. My wife is the runner, an outstanding runner. She did the half marathon this year. Reaper says, appreciate that, Eric. Yeah, if you were training for, a 10K race, that'd be different. But you're training for an obstacle course. You know what? At the 1.5 mile point, tell your wife to throw lighted matches at you to simulate the fire jump. Reaper's going to be leaping through fire during this race. So yeah, she'll just flick matches at you, Reaper. Hey, get the neighbors involved. Man, I wish I lived in your neighborhood. I'd be flicking matches at you right now. As you're sitting watching the Raiders game, I'd be throwing lit matches at you. Jay says, Lewis, that's a perfect pace. I was a gifted runner, ran for the UK Army. Nice. 4-minute mile in my day. Nearly made the Olympics. Wow. Oh, to be there again. Reaper says she was like 3 miles. That's it. Yeah, I think about some of my older days, Jace. I was never that fast as a runner. But man, to be young and fit and good at a sport, no feeling like that in the world. I'll tell you what, it's pretty good to be old and fit. We get a clapping emoji. That's a clapping emoji, right? From our friend Kayla. Reaper's having none of that. That's crazy. Reaper says how to be young. Hey, I wouldn't mind going back to 40. I told you before. My 40s were pretty good. I didn't do my, I started ultra running at age 45. I started kettlebell sport, which might be the most brutal sport there is, honestly, guys. I started doing that in my 40s. I started doing ultra marathons at 45. I didn't finish my first 100-mile race until I was 50, a week after my 50th birthday. So, man, Jace, but you probably look better now with your training than you did as a miler. Am I right about that? What do you think? You're 50, right? You're 50, but you're fit. You look good. You got muscle. Reaper says, but then again, they can't do push-ups. They definitely can't do 1,000 push-ups. Lee says, Eric, I also enjoyed the Wild West days of the U.S. and gold rush era. I liken it to the fuel and industrial boom of the Victorian times here. Yeah, I've always enjoyed that. I love reading westerns, watching westerns. I love the thought of the frontier. Everything's so pristine. Reaper says, Jason Man, how many minutes till you go live? Jason says he's ready to roll. Prescott says, also support Flower as her country, Myanmar, is currently in a evil war versus the oppressed government. Yeah, I think about that. I think about that all the time. She has said that she thinks eventually she might have to leave. Her family might have to leave. I hope they do it sooner rather than later. Never an easy thing, I would imagine, leaving your country. But man, when it comes to that point where you're in jeopardy, your family's in jeopardy. Thanks for that, Night Watcher. Much appreciated you putting that out there. So definitely prayers to Flower and prayers to you too. Neither one of you guys, you're so young, neither one of you guys deserve that at all. Reaper says prayers to Flower. Thank you, Reaper. So I'm thinking the only thing left for Jace says Prescott and Flower. Thank you, Jace. Thinking the only thing left for Reaper to venture forward in is ultra marathons now. I'm thinking a 50K is not going to be enough. I'm thinking Reaper, it's time to do a 50 miler. I think Mr. Reaper and Mrs. Reaper doing a 50 miler together. Hey, can you run that by your wife? Let her know that I suggested it and see what she has to say. Let's see. If I run, I won't be doing burpees. Nope, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking at the end of your 50 miler, you hit 50 push-ups. You know what? Screw that. At the end of your 50 miler, I think 50 Navy SEALs at the finish line. Jay says, run, Reaper, run. Absolutely. And then, you know what? You could do some of the weighted events. Jace did that. He did double marathons with 60 pounds. I think with Reaper, though, we'll just do the 35-pounder because you're already used to it. Reaper says he's not going to give her ideas. If you can get her to stop by this live stream sometime, I'd appreciate it. Just ask her to stop by. Prescott says it's actually crazy. Myanmar and Bangladesh are neighbors, and both have had civil uprising in this month. Yeah, there is a lot of turmoil right now. However, that might be a sign of hope that perhaps from the turmoil, something better, something more peaceful, something of the people and for the people is going to arise. All we can do is hope and be part of the change when it happens. Be part of the change to make it happen safely. Don't put yourself at risk. Reaper says, one time I did something crazy. I'm going to stop right there first. The man who routinely does the Holy Grail and the shot caller says, one time I did something crazy. And then he goes on to something else. So one time I did something crazy. I ran 6 miles around my neighborhood and 10 push-ups for every driveway I crossed. That's a good idea. That's great training. I have an ultra running friend. He's got a YouTube channel, Randy Creel, Barefoot Randy. He does all of his 100-mile races, and he does a lot of them. And sandals and the harachas, right? He will do 20 push-ups at the end of every 100-mile race. Reaches the finish line, tops down, does 20 push-ups. He says, Burpee, I admire your energy level. Please send me some. Hey, he doesn't start out that way. You've heard him mention before. He starts out heavy, out of shape every year. It's a good opportunity, guys, because it's not that far away. Reaper's entering the off season. He's going to kick back. He's going to eat a lot. He's going to put on some weight. He's not even going to complain. Man, I'm so out of shape. How do you complain about something you do purposely? And then somewhere around late December, early January, it's going to get that urge to kick things in gear. Everyone's invited to join along. Muckbanger Reaper. That's not a bad. Are you going to change your name in the off season? The slightly overweight Reaper. The food devouring Reaper. The food devouring Reaper. The pizza eating Reaper. I like that. The pizza eating Reaper. I feel like I should. And then when it is time to make your comeback, it's like an out of shape Batman. You know, you guys ever read the graphic novel Return of the Dark Knight? A 50-year-old Bruce Wayne decides to become Batman again. He's not quite as good, but he keeps getting better. So Reaper is like an out of shape Bruce Wayne. He shows up in January. A little bit older, a little bit slower, a lot heavier, but he's still freaking Batman. He's still Batman. He still has the cape. He still has the cowl. And you give him just a couple weeks, Batman 101. Reaper said, perfectly said. Hey, I'm a fan. I'm not just friends with Reaper. I'm a fan. I follow the channel. I see what he does. Prescott says, there is hope for us. Bangladesh will be temporarily run by the Nobel Peace Prize winner, Muhammad Yunus. Yunus own as the banker of a poor leading the interim government, and elections will happen in 6 months. Awesome. Hey, I'm hoping the same for you. Something similar. Reaper says 100. Let's see. Lee says, man, the actress who played Lois Lane, I think she was in a Bond movie. Which Bond movie? And on the subject, you know what? I don't think I ever asked this from someone from England before. Who is the greatest James Bond? Which actor did the best James Bond? Do you want to hear my thoughts first, or do you want to name yours? Almost everyone says Sean Connery. Sean Connery was the one, as a kid, I watched when James Bond came on TV. In the movies, it was Roger Moore when I was growing up. However, Daniel Craig, in my opinion, is the best James Bond because he had the physicality. He looked like a badass. Um, you took him seriously. He looked like he could do all that stuff. Um, as well, in the books, he was sort of blondish. I know, Roger Moore was very suave, debonair, but he just seemed kind of slight, a bit of a lightweight. Sean Connery was bigger, um, and he was also pretty smooth, and he was physical. He'd be my second choice. So yeah, Daniel Craig. So, what did we decide? The pizza reaper, the pizza eating reaper, the burrito eating reaper, the French toast eating reaper. Let's see. Lee says, now this is controversial, but for me, George Lazenby, the Australian actor, convinced me by his English vernacle. I thought he spoke it convincingly, and as a English gentleman, may sound. Yeah, he only did one. Amazing. That would be controversial. I can see it though. The everything eating reaper. Now we're getting somewhere. How about the endlessly eating reaper? Let's see. Prescott says, watch Ghost Rider movie. It was good, I guess. I'd like Nicolas Cage. I didn't like the movie. Reaper says, I never saw Ghost Rider. So here's, we'll go one more question like this, or maybe more. The Burrito Reaper. I like that. Who was the best Batman? Mir's here. Mir, my friend, how are you? Mir says, hey, Sir Yogi, and all beautiful people. Reaper says, I like that, Prescott. The Burrito Reaper is actually really good. Night watching that was a good one. But you got to explain people. You got to explain to people that, the reason why. Watch my transformation from the Burpee Reaper to the Burrito Reaper and back bigger and badder than ever. I think this has been your best year, Reaper. I think you look better now than any other year you've been doing this. And you're performing great. You also did more running because you were training with your wife. This was and you're going to top it off with a Spartan. I think you deserve a couple weeks as the Spartan Reaper, and then you go to the Burrito Reaper, and then you make the grand comeback. Lee says, Mira, good evening. I really enjoyed the video earlier. Yeah, I missed it live, but I did catch it. Lee says, I'm sad to say I never watched the Batman film. Well, interesting. I don't think they've captured Batman in essence yet. They're still trying. I think Robert Pattinson did a decent job, but he needs to put on some size. He needs to be a little bit sturdier looking. Prescott says the best Batman, Bruce Wayne. Either or. Do you think there was a different actor that did a better Bruce Wayne than a better Batman? He says the driveway reaper, what you sell. Spartan, that's a big finisher. So I have every expectation next year is going to be even better. For one, you're not going to have the injury to overcome, so you're going to go straight in. That makes this year even bigger, because you didn't just start being out of shape, you started being injured and out of shape. If you guys relatively new to Burpee Reaper, his channel, and you look at him and you think, man, that's pretty awesome. I can't do that. Go all the way back to January this year and watch what happened. Watch the transformation. Mir says, hey, my friends, today I opened my membership and super chat tomorrow. Awesome. I do a super chat live stream. I hope everyone participates there. I will participate. Mir, do me a favor. Every time you see me live, feel free to mention it. Feel free to remind me, and we'll remind everyone. I'll do my best to remind everyone this evening when I go live. So, man, Duncan Walsh came in last night, and Eric Lapointe has mentioned this before, and Destiny has mentioned this before, me doing a membership as well. I gotta admit, it doesn't sit well with me. That I feel like I'm teaching people exclusively for money when I'm just as happy to give it away to you guys. CDD Box says, hey, do you know a singer? I don't recognize that name. Are they good? Do you recommend them? Reaper says, Mir, it's all good. I appreciate you. And thanks, Brother Reaper. Reaper says, 2 deployments. Yep, I caught a lot of the second one. I missed the first one, but I'm going to go check it out. Mir says, hey, 2. CDD Box. Want to make sure I get that right. Oh, and also, you know what? I don't think I said welcome. Welcome, my friend. Prescott says, at least with your PM hasn't gone, internet freedom and free speech will be back. Before, if we spoke out against the government, we would get arrested, and Reddit and other free speech apps got blocked. So yeah, something positive came from that. I just hope that you get a peaceful atmosphere back. Reaper says, Eric's, what's your email? It is Eric McCarty 65 at AOL.com. I got a Google email as well. Prescott says, idea, I'll say it again, but Burpee Uncle, Duncan, you and Reaper, open a gym, please. You know, I think nowadays you could open a virtual gym. I think Reaper could have a virtual gym. Once Reaper gets monetized, he could do memberships. Come train with Reaper. He'll put you through the paces. Rupert says, yes, 100. So I looked at the membership again today, and I almost jumped into Prescott. You said that last time. I mentioned this. Every time I post my email address, I always mention Night Watcher makes fun of me for having an AOL email address. I also have a Google. Why do I set myself up for this abuse? I set myself up for this abuse at the same time. Prescott, Night Watcher, you always make me laugh, and this is why I always enjoy you coming back on the live stream. It's been a bit, but I always appreciate you being here, even if you're making fun of me. Maria says, who's my first member? Interesting. We shall see. So we'll have that opportunity. Who's going to be the first member? Who's going to be the first one with the super chat? I'm going to see if I can get there. I'd like to be the first super chatter. Let's see. Prescott says, why don't you guys open a joint account and open a YouTube channel just for bald yogiisms? We could do that. Well, Unk isn't bald. So it can't be exclusively bald, guys. So Reaper's not bald. He's follically challenged, but technically not bald. Prescott says, my bet is on Eric Lapointe. You know, I've never seen Eric Lapointe without a hat on. I'm not saying he's hiding something. Don't get me wrong. But what's with the hat all the time? Rio thought that was funny. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy theory under the hat. But I'm not saying, you know, that there's the possibility maybe. Hashtag remove the hat Lapointe. I hope he shows up this evening. And I hope Reaper's there to back me up on this. Again, we're not saying there's any kind of conspiracy theory. We just have questions that we would like explored. That's all. Reaper is a folic ally challenged. Follically. My challenge, I would love to be challenged. My challenging days are over. Nowadays, if one single hair pops up on my head, my entire head is like questioning, what is this? What the hell, man? What's going on here? What is this foreign object growing out of me? That's how far away my follically challenged days are. Prescott says, Yogi, you look like you need Kaljung just to get more insights on the world. I don't want to say I would, but you know, I've gone to some pretty big extremes. Mira says, today, amazing live stream. Sir Yogi. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. It's a quiet one today. But hey, I enjoy them all. I enjoy coming here no matter who shows up. I've mentioned before that even if no one showed up, I would be having a very similar conversation completely on my own. I would be entertaining myself. Mocha says, just say no to cow junk. Man, I can't make any promises. First, we got to define the actual junk. We got to define the actual junk. Hey, Mocha. Burpee Reaper is going to do a Spartan race. Does a Spartan race finisher, does Burpee Reaper with a medal, does that warrant a high five? That's the question. Don't have to answer now. You can wait until he's finished. It's on the 24th. 2 caps here. Thomas, how are you? Thomas is putting in some big work. Two Cap says, bully sticks. Bully sticks. What are bully sticks? Prescott says, I've eaten cow junk. It's a local cuisine. Interesting. I have not. I've had that opportunity, not just from, well, I guess bulls, not cows. But yeah, I'm not gonna go down that route. 2 Cap says, biceps sore, but my spirit is high. Yeah, you put in some, you did some curls the other day. Mocha says, sup everyone. 2 Cap says, cow junk. Would you eat it? Reaper says, 2 Cap, rip that muscle up, brother. Mocha says to Reaper, or to me actually, but in reference to Reaper, sure, it merits a high five, just not for me. 2 Cap says, laughing out loud, it's bull dick, dog treats. For some areas, as Reaper or as Prescott says, it's a local delicacy. And of course, some people eat the other parts, the dangly parts. What is it? Rocky Mountain oysters? Is that what they call it? Reaper says, that's how you do the damn thing. Let's go. So Mocha, I planted the suggestion for a 50-mile race for Reaper after the Spartan race next year. Well, you know what? I was 45, right? It might have been 46 when I did my first 50. So we can give Reaper 6 more years before he does his first 50. Prescott says, I've had cow tongue too. I've had tongue as well. I didn't like it. Didn't care for it. There was a local restaurant that actually served tongue sandwich. Poor man says, great workout, Leo and Reaper. Just finished up. What'd you do today, poor man? Reaper says, keep it easy today, Thomas. 101 pumps. Good suggestion. Reaper says, I love cow tongue. How do you eat it, Reaper? How's it prepared? Mocha says, someone tongued the cow? Well, someone has to, I imagine. Mira says, hey, DH. Teacap's going to wait until later. Let the day warm him up. Prescott says, cow tongue is pretty common everywhere. It is not common in my house. That is for sure. Every cow tongue belongs firmly in the mouth of a cow. Cow tongue tacos. Interesting. Teacup says, my mom was given a tongue sandwich by a stranger on a train when she lived in Germany. It's funny because one of the things my mom taught me was never to accept a cow tongue sandwich from a stranger in Germany. Every time I left the house, she would give me that reminder. She was like, I don't care if you get in a van with a stranger. I don't care if you take candy from a stranger. That's all up to you. But one thing, never, never accept a cow tongue sandwich from a stranger in Germany. And I took that to heart. And I never have, and I never will. Oh, let's see. Poor man says he just followed along with Reaper and Leo. It's live earlier. Ran it back. Nice. Mir says, CDH, I'm good. How about you, friend? Thanks for asking. Prescott says, eating balls are a dick of a bull. Horrible. Boy, horrible. Yeah, I don't see why. Of course, people eat oysters. Is it any less gross than eating an oyster? Poor man says he's doing great. Teacup says, one thing that scares me is the brains. I haven't had brains. I don't think I could do it. Well, I wouldn't, but even in my meat eating days, no. Prescott says, what? Brains are so good? If you're a zombie, they're good. See? Mocha says, brains, zombies up in here. I knew somebody was going to go down that route, and I knew it was probably going to be Mocha. Teacup says, if it's meat from the skull, there can't be much meat in the skull, though, can there? All about it, but the brain just not for me. I've seen the Mad Cow on 2020 when I was a kid. That would be enough to scare you off. Plant versus zombies. Always bet on the plant. They've survived everything. Let's see. Mocha says, I remember that too, Cap. Reaper's laughing with Mocha. It's all about the zombies, guys. Teacup says, I'm sure they are. I'd like the sweetbreads. Just a mental thing, I guess. Reaper said he's going to do a live and all the Mountain Dew drinks soon. How many Mountain Dew drinks are there? Our friend Jacob is here. Awesome. Poor man says, should do a vest workout once a week, Reaper. Good times, man. Hey, what was the weight on your vest? Poor man. Pan Dulce is the bomb. Haven't heard of that. Teacup says, to Reaper, you watch Penguins? He did a tier list. Thomas says, there's meat in the cheeks. Doesn't seem like there'd be a whole lot, though. Prescott says, Seacap, you mean Charlie? Moose Critics? You guys have lost me on this. Reaper says, I believe 6. Jacob says, hey everyone. Jacob, how are you? Jacob put in a 4-mile run the other day. Was it yesterday? Or the day before? Prescott says moist critical. He's a good channel. I don't know it. Poor man says I got a 30. Ran 4 miles with a 50-pound vest last night. Vest training is awesome. It's been a while since I've done vest training. Or rucking. I got a great rucksack, but it's been a bit. I should start again. Maybe I'll start for the fall when it cools off a bit. I wanted to do a ruck event at one time. Four-mile run might be the perfect run. You know that? It's got enough distance to be, slightly challenging at a good pace, but it doesn't take all day. 4-mile run is a good run. Prescott says, I think the American way of going to the bathroom is disgusting. Well, going to the bathroom or after the bathroom? Reaper says, to get that money, poor man. Reaper says, Prescott explain. But not in too much detail. If you're thinking about squatting, if you mentioned, that might be true. I have a squatting bench to help with just such an occasion. Let's see. Two-Cap says he's one of the biggest streamers in the world, Eric. You might enjoy some of his content. A lot of his gaming. Well, interesting. Two-Cap says with paper and sitting on a throne. That's what I think he's probably talking about. But like I said, you can get a bench. Put you in the most efficient position. And yeah, there's probably a better way than with paper. Probably the best would be a bidet. Yeah, and that's what Thomas said. You're right. Floor toilet and bidet is better. Poor man says, last night, running with vest helps me with burpees for sure. Adds a little gas. Yeah, I can see that. Let me start breaking out my vesting. And I got 2 vests and actually maybe 3 vests. And a rucksack. 2 rucksacks. Prescott says, you guys only use toilet paper? Disgusting. At least use a water spray to wash your butt. Just leave it dry. You know what? It's not a bad suggestion. You know what? You speak of, we're speaking of pooping, and the expert on the subject, Mr. Poopinator, shows up out of the blue. Every toilet needs a water gun. He's not far off at all. Reaper says, well, shit. That's exactly the point, Reaper. Teacup says, I enjoyed bidet when I was in Vietnam. It really is better, I think. I'll get one. I think they might be fairly affordable. Reaper says, Prescott, and we think using a spray is weird. I've been part of this discussion before, and it really does, you are cleaner. And of course, a floor toilet or get one of the stools, more efficient. It's obviously a funny thing to talk about, but it can be some serious health concerns for people. Coach Stan John, who a wonderful channel too, by the way, um, talked about when he got serious about elimination, his elimination got serious, which means it got more efficient and he got healthier. Prescott says, in the Indian subcontinent, we use water guns to wash asses with toilet paper as well. Squatty potty, that's what I got. Yes, squatty potty helps a lot. Very sweet, very rare to see that here. You can get one at Costco, easy to install. Says his wife uses wipes. Reaper says, oh, I know Thomas, but I'm not. I think I'm just going to run my garden hose up through the window into the bathroom. Poor man says, I've used leaves, Reaper. Oh, yeah. Anyone who's run an ultra has grabbed the leaf. Just make sure that you are, or has done some serious backpacking, just make sure that you are up to date on your leaf identifying abilities. Reaper says, guys used to wipe with leaves in Mexico, no toilets when I was a kid. Interesting. Yeah, you got to find the right leaves, that's for sure. Prescott says, bum gum for life. Reaper says, oh, good, I wasn't alone, poor man. Yeah, it said every ultra race for a long one, at least for some people somewhere, they're going to find themselves in a position where that is, you got to grab a leaf. School Semper says, thinking is the only activity which the spirit possesses. Thought is the only product of thinking. Interesting. I'm going to have to let that ruminate for a bit. Two Cap says, when he was 14, he used poison oak. Ooh, that's not good. My butt and the neighbor girl said the natives use leaves, and I didn't want to go home at the moment. Man, do we want to know literally the end result of that? Prescott says there's a reason why Americans get hemorrhoids more often. You guys just dry wipe with toilet paper and no water. Reaper says, good thing I don't live in the city. Hard to find a good leaf in the city. Reaper says, yeah, the town didn't even know what a TV was when I was a kid. Hey, when did you move, Reaper? How old were you when you moved? Oof. Reaper, I'm sorry. Thomas says, so bad they had to put socks in my hands and tie them. Wow. Yeah, I bet. Poor man says, leaves a 3, let it be. Leaves a 4, wipe some more. Excellent advice. Everyone should write that down. You should have that handy with you. Head to toe, poison oak. Man, what about internally? Do you think it got in you? That's rough. Head to toe, poison oak, absorbed through my butt. Man, I don't even want to think about that. Let's see. Lee's back. Just preparing a cup of herbal tea. Nice. Reaper says, so your ass was on fire. Isn't that a song? TCAP says, by 14, I could spot oak from a mile away. I bet. Poor man says, I'm a delivery driver. Had to dump in our cornfield a few days ago. Leaves are toilet paper. What do you have handy, poor man? TCAP says, bro, it was terrible. Had to get a cortisone shot. Yeah, that could actually probably be deadly. And it was the day before me going to my grandma's in San Clemente in the summer. Wow. Reaper says he was 5. You have much memory of Mexico, Reaper? Ashutosh, did I pronounce that right? Says hi, hello, my friend. Samuel says hello, friends. Samuel, how are you? Samuel is a new YouTube friend. He's got a really nice message on his channel. I hope you guys get an opportunity to visit and subscribe and like what he does. I was very happy to make his acquaintance. Reaper says, poor man, absolutely. TCAP says, that's a funny chat today. You know what, it is funny, but also some serious stuff. You know, like I said, as Dan John said, you got to take everything the body does, you got to take it seriously. In health measures, the squatty potty is a handy tool, and it is a better way for elimination. It's healthier, better for you. Poor man says, got lucky. Someone left tissues in the truck. Nice. Jay says, you're still alive. I'm back. Yep, going to be live maybe 10 more minutes or so. Reaper says, hell yeah, I was a kid that wasn't scared to go outside. We had a huge river, and that's where I learned to, that's where I would hang out with my friends. No parent supervision. Nice. But that ain't happening now. Yeah, different times, huh? Reaper says, oh, great live, Jace. Beautiful dog, very well trained. Yeah, he does amazing work with Xeno, doesn't he? He says, Eric, my plan is to get 50 subscribers by Monday so I can do first YouTube video, which I'll take to the gym near me Monday as I feel inspired again. Awesome. Where are we at right now? I'm bringing Lee up. Lee is at 17. Guys, is everyone subscribed to Lee? You got to remember, I want to mention that as well. Hey, Prescott. Are you subscribed to our friend Lee? Reaper says, okay, here's one. Has anyone used 3 hands? I have not. How do you manage that? How do you manage that, Reaper? Ashutosh says, you're not poor, you deserve love and respect. Very kind of you to say. Very kind of you to say, my friend. Jay says she's getting there. It takes a lot of work, but it's worth it. Teacup has subscribed. Thank you, Thomas. Let's see. Prescott says, don't got. What do you mean? Steven's here. Stephen Price. What a shine on that head, man. Looking outstanding as always. Much appreciated. I was talking this morning about skull shining breath, compultai breathing. And it's literally translates from Sanskrit to skull shining. It'll put a shine on your head, guys. It actually means head shine for clarity of thinking. But hey, I am renowned for my shiny head. I got people showing up just to comment on that. I got a good friend, Stephen Price. And I always appreciate when he shows up. He says, can I still upload a video to YouTube as I am now? Yeah, I believe so. Definitely. I think you only need 50 to go live. Lewis says, no, not I can remember, Lewis, but my sock, yes. Reaper says, Jace for the win. Lee says he's 17 now. You should be 18 now, right? Prescott says he'll sub. Thank you, Prescott. For guys who, hey, 19, Lee. For those who don't know, Prescott is a longtime friend of the channel. Jay says, Lewis, oh yeah, I'm ex-Army. Prescott says, I'm still going to say AOL is crazy, dude. Like what, AOL? Isn't that 40 years old? Hey, the internet isn't even 40 years old. It's not my original email address, actually. When we switched from Comcast to Verizon, I had a Verizon email address, and Verizon did away with email, at least at one point, and they gave me an AOL. It is still pretty old, though. It's probably 15 years old. Teacup says, oh, and a bandana once? Yeah, everyone's used the bandana, I think. If you're smart, you're going to use someone else's bandana. If you're smart and it's at all possible, always use someone else's bandana. Lee says, thank you guys. I'm very overwhelmed by your support and kindness. Absolutely, my friend. Reaper says, Lee just subbed. Nice. Let's refresh his page. 20 subscribers, Lee. Jacob says, you got my support, brother Lee. 32. Nice, guys. Way to step up for a friend. Jay says, Lewis, you never tried sandpaper on your Johnson? No pain, no gain. Man, what kind of gain are we going to get out of that, Jace? I'm thinking all pain, all pain. He says, Jacob, I'm blessed. Reaper says, hell no, Jace. Absolutely. TCAP says, worst was getting run halfway through 8-mile run. I had some problems on my first attempt at a 100-mile race. I made it 66 miles. It was not, I was very dehydrated at the end. Man, it was tough. It was, I had issues the entire race. Jacob says, you got the best support on here? Absolutely, Jacob. Thank you. And thank you for being the spearhead for that. Jacob knows how to get it done. Reaper says, getting the runs, period. It's explosive. Yes, it is. Jay says, here's one. What's the height of frustration? A man with one arm hanging on the cliff with a really itchy thumb hole. Reaper says he would fall. Yeah, I think probably most of us would fall. Jacob says, you guys are funny. We've been talking about this for about an hour. Teacup says, Jace, these are army jokes. Reaper says, Jace needs a live story time. Teacup says, the banana incident was in a front yard of a massive house party. That's pretty funny. Pulled my pants up to see cops walking up. He ran, tripped, and fell in the stream. Hey, at least you took Prescott's advice and you used water. Oh, everyone's got one. Everyone's got at least one. I'm sure we all got a poop story, at least one. Teacup says, I wish it was only one. Sabine says, hi, Yogi Eric, and all the friends in the live stream. Sabine, how are you, my friend? Rita says, sorry for some time out from there. Not a problem. Hey, guys, tomorrow we're going to have a live stream from Mir, and it's going to be his first super chat and membership. So if anyone would like to be a member or submit a super chat, this is a chance to help out someone who has been extremely helpful for so many people. Two-Cap says, so Sabine, okay, guys, try to clean it up. Absolutely. Ladies present. Of course, Mocha was here, remember? But Mocha being ex-military. Well, sorry, being military. Timo is here, and Optimov says, hi, Eric. How are you, Timo? So, Timo, we have a premiere tomorrow, right? Jay says, Mir has a pleasant surprise coming. Awesome. Reaper says, literally clean it up, Thomas. Absolutely. Let's see. Prescott says, hey, Yogi, who is your first active viewer who was in Mocha? My guess is Goldie. No, actually, you know what? Reaper was here pretty much in the beginning when I first started doing live streams. Reaper, Paul from Oregon, Destiny, Osiris would show up. Sabine says, I'm better again. I have a bit of a bad day. I'm sorry to hear that, Sabine. I'm glad that you're feeling better. Sabine says, I was feeling dizzy, feeling so dizzy today, but now it's okay. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad it's better. Let's see. Mocha says, what about my being former military? We were talking, we were trading, we were discussing poop stories. Health-wise. And I had said that nothing for a former military person like you, that you've heard it all. Reaper says, yep. Mir says, hey, brother Optimob, your name is Timo. Yep, Timo and Sabine and Bax make up Optimob. It is it's a family channel. Kay's here. Kay, how are you? How's your weekend, Kay? Lee says, Eric, I like your analogy before about the waves and always being individual waves that flow together. It's a beautiful analogy. Here's the problem sometimes. That when we were born, we are that unique wave coming from the infinite ocean of consciousness. But early on in life, we forget that we are a wave always connected to the ocean, and we believe that we're separate. We believe that we are an independent source of being a wave, and that there is no connection to consciousness or each other. So we live our life with that sense, and that causes suffering. It produces fear, and we project that fear out into the world. So we live in a fear-based world. But the wonderful thing about that analogy is when you think about a wave, you see that a wave always falls back into the ocean. It's never separate from the ocean. So we might believe that we are separate. We might project that fear out into the world, but it's not true. It's fiction. We're never apart from the ocean, which means we are never apart from each other. And that's the nature of forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't saying, I forgive you because. It says, I forgive because there is no you and there's no me. There is just the ocean. I forgive because there's not separate waves. I forgive because we're all part of the ocean itself. Okay, says, hey, Yogi, everyone in the chat. Saying hi to Milka, Jace, Smear, Sabine, and Louis. So I hope your weekend is off to a good start, Kay, and everyone as well. Reaper says, yep, poop guys. Yep, poop guys. We had an extended conversation about poop. Not in a bad way. Prescott says, when did we join the crew on your live streaming journey? I started last July. So it's been just over a year and a week. Well, it was the beginning of July. So a year and a month. And Burpee Reaper was one of the first coming by to hang out. Chatted quite a bit, him and I and Destiny. Odom was one of the first as well. Reaper, Odom, Destiny, Paul from Oregon. Hybrid Jim, who was then Barefoot Burpees. You, Prescott, you were back in, was it January, I think? Way back in January, or maybe April, because you and I met over on Nobles. Lee is sending a hug from the UK. Awesome. Reaper is out, going to get ready for the Raiders game. Got to support. Yep, I'm going to wrap things up in just a minute, I think. I'll be back a little bit later. Appreciate you guys coming by. Optimob says, I forgot to like, but now it's done. Thank you for that, my friend. So before I close up, just a couple things to cover. Optimob, premiere tomorrow, right? And what time? Optimob, do you have a link that you'd like to drop? As well, Mir, what time are you going to go live tomorrow? Remember that for our friend Mir, it's going to be his first live stream where he is going to have the super chat, as well as the opportunity for anyone to be a member, to join. Prescott says, April, was it in April? Lee says, Prescott just subscribed. Our friend Prescott is in Bangladesh, which is experiencing some troubles right now. So definitely prayers to Prescott, as well as Prescott himself said, our friend Flower, the iron-fisted Flower. There is no better person than Flower. She's in Myanmar, and they're experiencing quite a bit of trouble. Eric Lapointe says, another great live. Thank you, Eric. Much appreciated. We were talking about you, Eric Lapointe. We had questions. Prescott says, I remember I met you after my birthday in April. I think Eric Lapointe came on the channel last winter, if I'm not mistaken. What makes me happy is seeing the people that have come that long ago still come by and hang out. Mir says, hey, all friends, and Sir Yogi. Hey, one other thing before I say goodbye is that our friend Lee is wanting to get 50 subscribers so he can do some live streams as soon as possible. He's at 20 right now. I'd like to get 50 by Monday. So if anyone is not subscribed to Lee, please do. Lee's a good guy. And I'd love to see the content that he puts out. Kay says hi to Eric. Prescott says April. Lee says yes to Brother Lou. And Eric says yes, I think it was the end of winter. Lee says, thank you, Eric. Very kind of you. Kay says, gotcha, Lee. Thank you, Kay. Runner Boy says, I've had 80 grams of protein just from chicken today. Rest in peace. Rest in pieces. Rest in peace chicken. It's a lot of protein. Hey, Runner Boy, are you subscribed to our friend Lee? Prescott says, hey, Lee, hope you make some streams. I'd show up if I have the time. Nice. Mir says, great. Lee says, Runner Boy, you're looking great from your workouts. He is looking fit, isn't he? Rest in pieces chicken. Exactly. Runner Boy says, yeah, but it's good protein, real protein. Yep, can't have that fake protein. Can't make gains with fake protein. So, let's see. Hey, Timo, are you still here? Rest in pieces, bird. Speaking of birds, I saw 2 goldfinch today, 3 goldfinches today. They are very rare to see around here. Absolutely awesome. And I did catch, not long, but short. Runner Boy got a squat PR today. 125 kilograms, 275 times 4. Nice. It's a big squat. Prescott says, fun fact, steroids make you bald and have the mind of raging. Not necessarily. What were the questions? About you. Pull him down. He says, Yogi, William, how are you, my friend? We were wondering, we've never seen a live stream, an Eric LaPointe live stream, burpees or tractor or otherwise, without Eric LaPointe wearing a hat. So we're not saying, that there's a conspiracy going on here, that there might be something going on under the hat. We're not insinuating anything. Don't want to get anyone upset. We were just curious. Let's see. Prescott says, and a raging 16-year-old. Runner Boy says, I've seen a guy do a challenge, one full chicken for dinner for 100 days. It's a lot of chicken. Runner Boy says, I only meant to do 120, but felt good, so I did 125. Nice. Way to step up. Way to test yourself. Eric Point says, this is true. So we're not saying, that there might be something going on under the hat. We weren't insinuating. We weren't insinuating with our insinuations. Let's see. Prescott says it's proven steroids cause baldness, anxiety, and the mind of a raging 16-year-old down there. I've had quite a few friends on steroids, gym friends, and none of them were ever like that, ever. And long term, I don't recommend it. I don't think it's good for you. After a certain age, you could get testosterone replacement therapy if needed. My father had it after prostate surgery, but done correctly, done in the right way. Again, I don't recommend it. I don't think before a certain age you need it. So many competitive athletes use it these days, though, and have since the 60s. Let's see. William says, I may do a challenge just for me this week. I'm going to eat a whole watermelon. Well, are we going to capture that on a live stream? That might actually break the internet. William Downey eats an entire watermelon. Runner Boy is looking after his brother's dogs right now, so I have to be watchful at dinner time for them. Mir says, guys, today I opened my super chat membership for you guys tomorrow. Do a live stream for you guys. Absolutely awesome. I will be on the lookout for it. Guys, keep that in mind. As well, I was hoping from our friend Timo and Sabine, from our friends Timo and Sabine, if they could drop a link if they have a premiere that will be coming up. All right, guys. For now, though, I got to wrap things up. I'll be back later. And William Downey says, yes, live. That's going to be an awesome live. I'm looking forward to that. William says, hell yeah, Yogs. When is this? When's going to be the challenge? Oh, this week, coming up. See, that's the problem with me as a vegan. I guess I could do a banana eating challenge. When I first became vegan, I was mainly a fruitarian. And I was routinely eating 25, 27 bananas every day. It's a great way to get in calories, as well as other fruit, as well as lots of greens. Just a little handful of nuts to get some essential fat. I didn't stay that way for long. But hey, it was great when I was ultra running in the summer. I guess I did it for maybe 4 or 5 months. But I felt fast, I felt fit, and I was always hydrated. Prescott says, I asked upon Eric Lapointe, Duncan, the Burpees uncle, Reaper, and Yogi to open a gym for old and young, bald and non-bald burpees, and Yogi's enthusiast. Reaper thought that was a good idea. I'm thinking a burpee YouTube studio. Everyone can join in. Everyone's an instructor. Do a live stream and you lead a burpee class. Oh, Rome Downey says, one of my days off, Tuesday, Wednesday. Don't eat a banana challenge, Yogi. That goes against rule number 1 of William Downey. I guess a burpee is too much like a sausage link. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that on a live stream. Follow me, Global. Yo, Eric, Global, how are you, my friend? All right. I apologize. Our friend Global just popped in, and William just got here. Eric Lapointe's been here just a little bit, but I got to wrap things up. I'll be back in about 2 hours. If anyone's bored, come on by. We'll hang out some more. Global says, good man, you? I'm good. Thanks for asking. Very much appreciated. Let's see. Runner Boy says, 100 burpees tomorrow on live, by the way. Awesome. I'll be looking for you. Let's see. Mir says, so Yogi, can I start a 30-minute live now? Hey, guys, let's go hang out with Mir. If you got a little bit of spare time, we're going to see him. Right? I got to wrap things up. 2 hours is 3 a.m. for me. You've done it before, Prescott. I don't recommend you doing it again. Get some sleep. Let's hang out with Mir. William says, another smile, chuckle, my day is complete. And you know what? You saved me the embarrassment of doing a banana live stream. That would have been horrible. Thank God I got William in my corner. Prescott says, I have school tomorrow. Get some rest, my friend. Have a good day in school. I hope your year's off to a good start. Hey, keep us posted when you're able how school's going for you and how things are in Bangladesh. My prayers are with you. Guys, I got to wrap things up. I'll be back. Mir's going to go live. He's going to start a 30-minute live. Hope to see you guys there. I'll see everyone later. Take care.